As we wait for the Supreme Court to deliver their final decision on the legality of Roe v. Wade, we sat down with 3 different women to hear about their experiences obtaining an abortion, whether legally or not, and the complex reasons behind their choices. Here's ABC's Janai Norman.
It was in my apartment. It was on a daybed. I was blindfolded. I put a tube into my uterus and put a saline injection in it, and that induced labor. But there was no follow-up. I mean, it was, thank you for the $100. You're fixed now. And he was out the door, and there I was. Nobody told me what to do after that.
Adele Zimmerman was 23 years old when she found out she was pregnant.
And I didn't want to be pregnant. And I considered the pregnancy an invasion of my body.
No one knows how many abortions are performed in the United States each year. The number may run into millions. No one knows because the overwhelming majority of abortions each year are illegal.
So when Adele sought one in the 1960s, she had to turn to the black market.
And I didn't know how dangerous that was. I thought I'd be arrested. And I remember lying on the god-awful linoleum in my bathroom, crying and bleeding. Nobody should have to do that. Nobody.
Years later, when Roe v. Wade was decided in 1973, making abortion access legal for women in the U.S.
The Supreme Court today ruled that abortion is completely a private matter to be decided by mother and doctor in the first 3 months of pregnancy.
Adele remembers wishing it had happened earlier.
One of my first reactions was, damn, I shouldn't have had to go through that. It should have happened sooner. And I just thought, this is right. This is the way it should be.
As outrage continues to grow over a leak from the Supreme Court that's put the future of abortion rights into question, my body! Women like Stephanie Desmond are sharing their personal stories of the procedure.
When I found out I was pregnant for the second time, I was thrilled. I had loved my son so much that I needed to do this again and have another.
But 16 weeks into her pregnancy, she discovered that her baby was sick.
I was devastated. I was young, and I had had a successful pregnancy not that long before, and I couldn't believe this was happening.
A heart malfunction and a missing limb. She was told the baby wasn't going to survive the birth, and she was given 2 choices: wait until the heart stopped beating, or get an abortion.
No one ever thinks they're going to be the one who needs to get an abortion. Especially this child was so wanted. I was so excited, dreaming of my new life with my 2 babies. And I couldn't believe that the best option, which is hard to believe, was abortion.
According to board-certified OBGYN and ABC News chief medical correspondent Dr. Jen Ashton, it's an option that's not all that uncommon for many women.
Women who are receiving prenatal care do not get what we call the level 2 or comprehensive ultrasound, which is an anatomy scan of the fetal anatomy, until about 18 to 22 weeks. That's the point at which we can get a really good look at fetal anatomy. And then if a problem is detected, the woman will have a very difficult decision to make.
Dr. Ashton explains that a medical termination is the option presented to a patient when the fetus is found to have a medical anomaly that would make life virtually impossible.
We have to remember that pregnancy is not a zero-risk physiologic process.
The only appointment available at Stephanie's nearest Planned Parenthood was 2 weeks away. So with her mother's help, she instead opted to get the procedure done in Buffalo during Thanksgiving week.
The whole experience was so traumatizing. I mean, I desperately wanted this baby, and now he was living inside me, but would never survive. And so just the idea of that was so devastating.
It's a decision that she and many other women have to make for their own mental and physical health.
It is an incredibly difficult decision to make. So this is not like going into a nail salon or a hair salon and getting a manicure.
Maternity has already proven to be lethal in the United States, which ranks first in maternal mortality deaths compared to other developed nations. When you analyze the racial breakdown of those maternal mortality deaths, here in the U.S., Black women are the most at risk, as Black mothers are 2.5 times more likely to die than white mothers and 3 times more likely to die than Hispanic mothers. And college-educated Black women are at 60% greater risk for a maternal death than a white or Hispanic woman with less than a high school education.
This is women's health care. This is a medical condition.
Dr. Valerie Peterson, an abortion rights advocate with a doctorate degree in education, had a high-risk pregnancy in 2015, one that resulted in a visit to the maternal fetal medicine specialist every 2 weeks. But in her second trimester, she received devastating news.
Right at 15 weeks and 5 days is when I learned that, oh my goodness, the baby doesn't have a brain, and the condition is 100% incompatible with life.
When you heard that the condition is 100% incompatible with life, can you even remember what that felt like to hear that?
When I looked at the photos of the ultrasound that my doctor showed, it was clear that the baby's brain did not develop. And so it was very devastating for me.
I'm so sorry that you went through that. I'm a mom. I can only imagine like how hard that was on you.
I felt like I was left out there just hanging alone, trying to consider in my mind, like, oh my gosh, what do I do?
At the time, Texas only allowed abortions up to 20 weeks. Facing a 3 to 4 week waiting list, Valerie was up against the clock and felt forced to travel to Florida to get her abortion.
I had no control that my baby's brain was going to be not there, so much to say. I can't imagine living before the time where you had women that had to go to the back alley. They had to go to people that they didn't know to get the procedures that they needed.
Times like the one Adele endured and fears may be coming back if Roe is overturned and women lose their autonomy, their choice.
They have a place to turn that doesn't risk their lives. And I didn't. It's ridiculous for them to try and prevent it because it's going to happen.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.